Pew, pew. Pew, pew.
Is it cookie?
Has anyone else felt like everything going on in the world today feels like a nightmare that you just can't wake up from? Well, the situation has now turned into a more serious issue, more than just having a clown for a president. And unfortunately, we can't stay silent any longer. A lot of people are feeling helpless, so I did some research and found 8 ways that you can help. Number 1, stop the spread of misinformation and share the truth. Double and triple check facts given in the news and on social media before posting or even talking about it. If you have social media or are a content creator, share, share, share. Even if you're not a political person, we still have a generation that doesn't use computers, and if they hear something, they tend to believe it because it might be coming from our government. An example of this are the deaths of U.S. citizens Renee Nicole Good and Alex Preddy. Both were present at protests, although different days, but both were killed while they were trying to help others at the protest. Renee was checking on her neighbor, and Alex was trying to help a woman an ICE agent had pushed down. In my opinion, their deaths could have been avoided if agents were properly trained. The President and Homeland Security quickly held press conferences shortly after the incidents and lied, trying to make both Renee and Alex out to be hostile and only present with one thing on their mind: to hurt or even kill the ICE agents, which obviously from all the videos and the witness statements is far from the truth. Speaking about being improperly trained, listen to this.
Just as House Democrats are raising concerns that ICE might be hiring pardoned January 6th rioters, our next guest went through the agency's recruitment process as an undercover journalist, and her experience suggests something that might be even scarier. ICE's recruitment push is so sloppy that the administration effectively has no idea who's joining the agency's ranks. Joining me now is that journalist and author of the Substack Firewalled Media, Laura Jadid. Laura, your plan was never to become an ICE agent, but just to apply for the job. What stood out to you when you went to the ICE Career Expo in Texas?
Well, the expo was all I was intending to write about, and a few things just from that. It was very empty. There weren't a lot of people there. They seemed to expect a lot more people than showed up. The venue was far too big for the number of people there were. And the interview itself took about 6 minutes. I've been accused online a bit of lying by omission, and for that to have happened, they would have had to ask me more questions. They asked me questions like my name, my date of birth, how old I am. They took my resume, which was 100% accurate, and they said that I would hear back. I didn't expect to hear back because I have a very unique name, and the minute you type that name into any computer, it becomes immediately obvious that I'm not an ideal recruit. I'm a journalist. I am very clear online about how I feel about ICE, about how I feel about the Trump administration. So I didn't expect to hear back from them ever again. What's disturbing is we don't know how many other people this happened to. It seems unlikely that it was just me. We don't know who's wearing these masks with guns in our city. We don't know if they have domestic violence convictions. We don't know if the people who are manning deportation centers, detention centers, have been convicted of sex crimes or crimes against children. These are people that will neither be believed nor missed. I mean, the more you think about it, the worse it gets.
So ultimately, when you heard back from them, what was it?
So I missed the initial email because I wasn't expecting it. Again, I expected them to Google me, and they didn't. A few days later, they sent a tentative job offer. And with that tentative job offer, they sent a bunch of paperwork that I would need to fill out for consideration. I would need to accept the tentative job offer. I needed to fill out paperwork saying I'd never been convicted of domestic violence. I needed to fill out paperwork for background check information. I needed to sign an affidavit that I could pass a PT test, all of this stuff. None of which I did because I didn't see it. And yet, apparently, the application advanced anyway, because a couple weeks later, I got an email from LabCorp saying, hey, come and take a drug test for ICE. And I was pretty sure that wasn't going to work out well. Cannabis is legal in New York State, and I had partaken of it 6 days before their test date. But, why not? I went ahead and took the test anyway. And then 9 days after I took that test, because they're supposed to call you when you fail. So I was curious, like, did I somehow pass this test? So I logged into the ICE hiring portal and was shocked to find that the ICE hiring portal listed me as having a final offer, as having accepted that final offer,
What?
and as having a start date of September 30th, which was 3 days before I checked the portal.
Number 2, make your voice heard with your state's government officials. 5 Calls is a great app and website that does all the work for you in contacting your state's government officials. On the home page on the left side is where you'll put your location. Under that will be the different issues. Click on any that interest you and it will give you everything that has occurred with that topic and a rundown of more information on the subject. At the bottom will be who you need to call with a script on even what to say about that topic. It also is a place for you to say if you spoke to someone or left a message on voicemail. Now, depending on when you're watching this video, you still might have a chance to call your reps. Currently, we are trying to block any DHS funding for ICE and for them to either be dissolved or revamped. On January 30th, the Senate passed the new funding package by a vote of 71 to 29. But on Monday, February 2nd, the House is now expected to vote on this package. Congress has a new deadline of February 13th to pass a new DHS funding bill. Let's quickly review the process for how a bill becomes a law. First, a state representative or senator sponsors a bill. It is studied by a committee, and if it's released, then it will move to the floor of the House or Senate. For it to move on further, both chambers have to have majority rule. If it gets that far, then the president will have to sign it into law or veto it. If vetoed, then it goes back to Congress and the veto can be overridden. Number 3, educate yourself on the laws. ICE agents are not acting like official law enforcement. It seems like they don't have any rules. So it's best that you know your legal rights. Like, for example, the Constitution of the United States, the First Amendment and the Fourth Amendment. The First Amendment regarding freedom of speech, and the Fourth Amendment basically that you feel safe in your own home. Okay, this next one will be hard for some people. I know it is for me. But number 4, be mindful of what's going on. I know it's hard to watch. I understand that all too well. But it's important to not put our heads in the sand. Find sources that are easier to digest. Like for me, I like Philip DeFranco on YouTube. But as stated in number 2, no matter who you watch the news from or get your information from, always check the details. When Donald Trump was campaigning, he brought up immigration quite a lot, but mostly about building the wall and getting the immigrants that are criminals out of the U.S.
Zero tolerance for criminal aliens. Zero.
Over 65,000 people have been detained, and only about 52% had either previous criminal convictions or pending criminal charges. ICE agents have not been properly identifying themselves, keeping their face covered, and one particular agent, Gregory Bovino, who was in charge of Border Patrol in California, but was also the lead in Operation Metro Surge, which occurred in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And this is the location where both Nicole and Alex were killed. I don't know about you, but Gregory's looks and gestures, they seem kind of familiar. What do you think? There has been much talk about Trump and his administration having white supremacy goals, basically, in mind. And I have to say, I feel very uncomfortable with some of the posts that the government officials have been posting. Like, for example, this post by Homeland Security, for recruiting for ICE agents stated, "Which way, American man?" which some believe to be referencing a book called Which Way, Western Man by William Gailey Simpson. The book was an exploration of Western culture's relationship with non-white people. William was a white supremacist, a member of the neo-Nazi group the National Alliance, and he believed Adolf Hitler was right. The next one was from the U.S. Department of Labor, and this was a video clip, and it states, "One homeland, one people, one heritage. Remember who you are, American." Now this one, Adolf Hitler had a similar propaganda message translated to one nation, one empire or realm, one leader. So let's see, one homeland, one nation, one people, one realm, one heritage, one leader. I don't know. I don't think this is a very good post to be doing by a government officials. Another one from Homeland Security is a man on a horse with a B-2 bomber flying overhead, and the caption reading, "We'll have our home again." Another recruitment for ICE agents. I don't know. Whoever's in charge of marketing is just terrible. Kristi Noem, who is the Secretary of Homeland Security, was standing at a podium at a press conference. On the podium, if you can see, it says, "One of ours, all of yours." One of ours, all of yours. Now, in my research, some believe that this may be referencing to a massacre in 1942 in the village of Lidice, known today as the Czech Republic. The entire village was wiped out by Nazis after they were accused of killing an SS soldier. So a whole entire village killed because of one soldier. Whether or not these posts and signs from the government officials are actually tied to the previous racism and hatred from our history, it doesn't matter because their own actions speak louder than any words could. Okay, onward. Number 5, sign a petition. There are a few petitions out there on the internet, but one that I support is from Move On. Their link will be in the description, like with all the other links. Number 6, become part of a group or community. Find like-minded people to keep updated on information and also maybe to support or, just to keep up with the going on in your area. This one that I have reference to is called the General Strike. And basically they say, who are we? We've voted, we've protested, and still they ignore us. Our government refuses to meet our basic needs while the billionaire class hoards wealth and power. The General Strike is a decentralized network of regular people who know our greatest power is our labor and our right to refuse it. We aim to unite every person and organization fighting for racial, economic, and environmental justice so that together we can see real change in our lifetimes. I put their Linktree link in because they have some great resources and so forth. Number 7, support local organizations. Donate or volunteer with organizations that provide resources and support to immigrants. If you cannot locate yourself anything local, I have listed a few site links for you to check your locations. And finally, number 8, check on and support immigrants in your life. Reach out to family, friends, or even neighbors to make sure they're okay, and if needed, give them some of this information for them to get help. But please be careful. I have not vetted all the links in my description, and some charities are shutting down actually because ICE has been using them to find immigrants. So for this one, you may have to look into the help and then give the information about the help to your family or friends that might be dealing with that. I'm going to end this video the same way I started. We all matter, and love is never wrong. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, comment. If you have any links that I have not listed that you have used and you feel they are a good resource, please leave me a comment, or you can email me at perfectstormmail@gmail.com. Thank you again, and be kind and love each other.